People don't respect you because you keep trying to be liked. You smile, you over-explain, you agree when you should disagree, and then you wonder why people treat you like background noise. You have felt it. The way they talk over you. The way your ideas only matter when someone more dominant repeats them. The way your time is treated as flexible, but theirs is sacred. You are not seen as dangerous. You are seen as convenient. In a world built on self-interest, fear, and hierarchy, being harmless is not a virtue. It is a weakness. And weakness is always exploited, dressed up as morality. Machiavelli wrote that it is safer to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You were raised on the opposite message. Be kind, be fair, be understanding. And you should be those things. But without an edge, kindness becomes a costume people wear while they feed on you. Respect has a dark core. You earn it not by being nice, but by being necessary, unpredictable, and willing to say no. Respect appears when people feel two things about you at the same time. They can benefit from you, and they cannot easily control you. You have tried the normal advice. Speak up more, be confident, set boundaries. You tried to talk louder in rooms where no one was listening. You tried to set boundaries you were secretly afraid to enforce. That is why nothing really changed. This is not a self-esteem problem. This is a power problem. You do not suffer from a lack of goodness. You suffer from a lack of strategy. So, in this video, you are going to learn how to stop being liked and start being respected. Not through fake aggression or cartoon villain acts, but through cold, precise shifts in how you move, speak, and think. You will learn how to become the person people hesitate to cross, the person whose name changes the temperature of a room, the person who does not need to beg for respect because their presence demands it. The first law is simple to say and hard to live. Stop volunteering for disrespect. Look at your own life. How many of your humiliations were actually self-chosen? You stayed in conversations that drained you. You laughed at jokes that cut you. You kept explaining yourself to people who had already decided to misunderstand you. Disrespect rarely appears without invitation. It creeps in through the little doors you leave open. You are at work. Someone makes a joke about how you're always messing things up. It is not true, but you laugh along. You tell yourself you're being chill. You don't want drama. What they hear is simple. This person will trade self-respect for social comfort. That is all a predator needs to know. The dark alternative is not to attack back, not to give a speech, but to make the moment heavy. You hold eye contact a second longer than normal. You let the laugh die. You say clearly, "That is not accurate." And then you go silent. Now something strange happens. The frame shifts. The room feels the tension. The joke teller is forced into the spotlight. They have to explain, backtrack, or change the subject. You did not rage. You simply did not volunteer for your own humiliation. The law underneath this is never reward disrespect with warmth. Most people do the opposite. They become extra nice when someone is cold. They over-explain when someone doubts them. They try to win back approval from people who just showed their contempt. Every time you do this, you train them. You teach them that mistreating you comes with benefits, your attention, your compliance, your energy. So you reverse it. Disrespect earns distance, coldness, complexity. You cut access, you cut information, you cut enthusiasm. You do not need to give a big speech about boundaries. That is theater. In power, the smallest consistent shifts do more than emotional declarations. Machiavelli warned princes never to rely on the goodwill of others. When someone disrespects you, that goodwill has already evaporated. You are not repairing a bond. You are negotiating your position in the hierarchy. Stop volunteering for disrespect, and you close 50% of the doors people use to walk over you. The second law, become slightly unpredictable. People do not respect what they can fully predict. They may use it, they may like it, but they will not fear losing it. Right now, people know exactly how you will react. You will say yes when asked for favors. You will reply fast. You will accept apologies that are not really apologies. You will calm down when they tell you you are overreacting. That predictability makes you safe to exploit. Imagine this. A friend always asks for last-minute help, moving, rides, money, whatever. You always come through. One day they text you again, assuming you will cave. You reply 3 hours later with a short line. Can't, got my own things to handle. No explanation, no essay, no guilt. Just a small disruption in the pattern. Now their brain has to update its map of you. You are no longer a guaranteed resource. They feel a faint, unfamiliar emotion, uncertainty. Respect hides inside that uncertainty. The key is not to become chaotic. Chaos is weakness wearing a mask of rebellion. You aim for controlled unpredictability, strategic variation inside a stable core. You still show up, you still deliver, but occasionally and without drama, you break the pattern in your favor. You answer later, you decline, you change the subject, you excuse yourself. Over time, people stop seeing you as furniture and start seeing you as a person with an inner world they cannot fully access or predict. This distance creates space for respect to grow. You are near, but not owned, helpful, but not obedient, present, but never completely available on demand like a servant anymore. Every silence before someone else does. That constant stream of words does not make you understood, it makes you cheap. People subconsciously believe that what is rare is valuable, and what is always available is disposable. Right now, your words are always available, so they talk over you. Imagine two versions of you in a meeting. In the first version, you jump in early. You try to show you have done your homework. You go into details no one asked for, and the room mentally checks out. In the second version, you listen. You let others talk themselves in circles. You take notes. You observe. You wait. When you finally speak, you say one thing, the core risk everyone is avoiding, or the one clear path through the noise. Then you shut up again. Suddenly, your words carry weight, not because you yelled, not because you demanded attention, but because you attached your voice to signal, not noise. Machiavelli advised rulers to speak rarely and decisively, and to let others reveal themselves first. You adopt the same strategy. You let people underestimate your silence while you study their fears, their desires, their contradictions. Then, with a few precise sentences, you cut through their fog. The principle here is brutal. The more you talk, the easier it is to ignore you. Respect grows in the space between your words. The fourth law, detach your self-worth from being liked. Nothing makes you easier to control than your hunger for approval. Look at the patterns in your life. You soften your opinions so people will not argue. You say yes to things that drain you because you fear being seen as selfish. You stay silent when someone crosses your line because you do not want to be the difficult one. All of this is emotional bribery. You keep trying to purchase connection with self-betrayal. People can smell it. They may like you, they may use you, but they will not truly respect someone they know is terrified of disapproval. The Machiavellian shift is to reverse the direction of dependence. Instead of needing them to like you, you train yourself to ask a colder question. Are they useful, aligned, or dangerous to my mission? Not everyone, not every time, but often enough that your nervous system learns a new rule. You are not on trial, they are. You walk into a room and instead of thinking, I hope they like me, you think, I am here to observe whether these people deserve deeper access to me. You feel the difference immediately. Your spine straightens, your voice slows down. You stop chasing micro-reactions on people's faces and start watching their patterns over time. And here is the paradox. The moment you no longer need to be liked, people start to feel an unfamiliar pull towards you. They sense the independence. They sense you are not easily bought with compliments or attention. This makes your presence more valuable because it is no longer cheap enough to be purchased with shallow approval. There is a quieter law beneath all of this. Guard your emotional state like a fortress. Every time you let someone's mood dictate yours, you hand them the keys. They're irritated, so now you are anxious.
They withdraw, so you chase. They get loud, so you shrink. Whether you realize it or not, you are allowing them to regulate your nervous system like a puppet on invisible strings. Powerful people feel your nervous system before they hear your words. If you are constantly scanning them for cues, they feel it. It signals dependence, and dependence kills respect. So, you practice something that will feel almost inhuman at first: emotional non-reaction. Not numbness, not apathy, but a studied delay between stimulus and response. Someone snaps at you. You do not immediately defend, apologize, or attack. You pause. You breathe. You observe their state. You assess whether this requires a response, and if it does, you respond from choice, not reflex. That pause is where respect is born. People feel it when they cannot easily push your buttons. They sense that if they want something from you, they will have to come correct. You are no longer emotionally on sale. By now, you might be thinking, I know all this makes sense, but when I try to do it, something in me panics. That panic is the real prison. Everything we have talked about so far lives on the surface: behavior, strategy, tactics. But beneath your behavior is your shadow, and if you ignore it, you will always snap back to being liked instead of respected. Your shadow is the part of you that remembers every time you were punished for saying no, every time you were mocked for standing up for yourself, every time love was withdrawn when you stopped complying. So now, as an adult, when you try to be firm, or silent, or unpredictable, that younger part of you screams internally, "Stop, you will be abandoned." This is why you fold, not because the strategy is wrong, but because your nervous system is still loyal to an old survival rule: better to be disrespected than to be alone. To unlock the dark power of respect, you have to renegotiate that rule. You do this not by repeating positive affirmations, but by gradually proving to yourself that you can survive the discomfort of being disliked. Tiny acts of disobedience to your old self. You say no to a small request and sit there while your body vibrates with guilt. You hold eye contact when someone shames you, and you watch their power evaporate as your silence holds firm.
That younger version of you, the one trembling behind your ribs, still believes disrespect equals safety. You must break that contract. Start small. Tomorrow, when someone asks you to do something inconvenient, say, "Not today." Watch the panic rise. Let it wash over you like cold water. Do not explain. Do not apologize. Simply state the boundary and sit in the silence that follows. Your body will scream, "They hate me now." They do not. They are merely recalibrating. Repeat this once a day for a week. Each time, the panic lessens. Each time, you prove to your shadow that survival does not require surrender. This is emotional sovereignty. You are not deleting your kindness. You are moving it from them to yourself. When you protect your own peace, your kindness becomes a choice, not a hostage ransom. And people respect choice. They fear randomness, but they respect deliberate self-ownership. Now, let us speak of leverage, the currency of respect. Most people beg for respect by offering value first. You do the opposite. You withhold value until respect is paid. Think of a bank. You do not hand over cash before the teller counts it and stamps your receipt. Respect works the same way. Example: a colleague constantly interrupts you in meetings. The weak move: finish your sentence anyway, then later complain to HR. The dark move: when they interrupt, pause. Look directly at them. Wait 3 full seconds, then say, "I was speaking." Do not raise your voice. Do not smile. Just hold the pause. The room freezes. They feel the cost of their interruption. Now they must decide: apologize, back down, or risk looking petty.
You have forced them to pay respect with silence before you continue. This is leverage. You weaponize pause. You weaponize silence. You weaponize the simple refusal to let your energy be stolen without cost. Machiavelli wrote, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." But deception here is not lying, it is controlling the perception of cost. Make disrespect expensive. Your final transformation begins today. For the next 7 days, you will run a respect experiment. Day 1. Identify one person who consistently disrespects you. Today, you will not volunteer for disrespect. When they cross the line, even subtly, you respond with a calm, "I don't accept that." Then change the subject. No debate. Day 2. Be unpredictably unavailable. Someone texts you expecting an instant reply. Wait 4 hours. Reply with a single word. Busy. Day 3. Speak 30% less. In every conversation, listen twice as long as you talk. When you do speak, say only what matters. Day 4. Detach from liking. Before any interaction, silently ask, "Is this person useful, aligned, or dangerous to my goals?" If the answer is none, keep the interaction brief and neutral. Day 5. Forge emotional non-reaction. Someone gets rude. Breathe. Pause. Respond only after you've counted to 5 in your head. Your reply must be calm and concise. Day 6. Withhold value. A friend asks for a favor you'd normally grant. Say, "I can't help this time." No explanation. Day 7. Combine all laws. Move through the day as if you are a king observing peasants. You are polite, but you are not pleasing. You are present, but you are not available. By day 7, you will notice shifts. People stop interrupting you. Requests become rarer and more respectful. Jokes that once cut you now fall flat. They sense the cost. Strangers treat you with cautious courtesy. This is not magic. It is the removal of your own weakness. You have stepped from the role of prey into the role of player. Remember, a player does not need to announce they are playing. Their moves speak for them. You are no longer the child begging for approval. You are no longer the pawn moved by others' whims. You are a sovereign. A sovereign does not demand respect. They embody it. Their silence carries weight. Their no is final. Their presence alters the room's gravity. This is the dark power you now hold. Do not waste it on petty revenge. Use it to build a life where disrespect is a rare, costly mistake, not your daily bread. Subscribe now, not because I asked, but because you have sworn an oath to yourself. Harmlessly intelligent is no longer acceptable. Click that bell. Let it ring like a gong in your own fortress. You are the keeper of the keys. Now go, command the space you occupy.